I'll say this because these receivers, there's going to be a receiver or two from this draft that we're going to look back 5, 10 years ago, and we're going to wonder how the hell did he slip to the second or third, fourth round? It's going to be that one receiver because that's how good this draft is. Play the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart. Hey, one time. What is good, YouTube? This is your boy, Aaron.
It's Brian. Salute.
And this is the Courtside View podcast. And before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well. And if you're new to this channel, first of all, thank you for clicking on our channel and help us out. Click that subscribe button if you want to see more of our content. And yeah, let's get started. First topic of the day, I want to discuss what's going on today, and that is the NFL Combine, specifically the wide receivers. Now, Brian, this might go down as one of the greatest wide receiver drafts we've ever witnessed. The amount of talent for this year's wide receiver prospects is insane. I have the full list right here, the invites for the Combine. And then we'll get down after I give you the list. We'll talk about just some of our prospects that we're really looking forward to in today's NFL Combine. So down the list, we have Javon Baker from UCF, who's sort of made waves. I think Steve Smith Sr. has talked about Javon Baker a little bit.
He did.
Jermaine Burton from Alabama, Jalen Cooker from Holy Cross, Keon Coleman, who's a name that we all know very well from Florida State, who's been getting pretty much critiqued about his game, criticized for his game these past few months. Malachi Corley, another Steve Smith Sr. wide receiver that he's analyzed a lot. Jacob Cowing from Arizona, Ryan Flournoy from Southeast Missouri State, Troy Franklin, another guy that people have sort of talked about a little bit, Anthony Gold, Leatrick Griffin, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jaquan Jackson, Cornelius Johnson, Xavier Leggett. He's been making a lot of waves these past month. I've been hearing his name a lot. Luke McCaffrey, Lad McConkey from Georgia. Jalen, that Georgia guy. He's been making a lot of waves too. Jalen McMillan from Washington. Bub Means, Adonai Mitchell.
That's my guy.
He's been killing it. He's been killing it. A lot of people have been talking about him. His name has been just in the news for a lot of reasons. Malik Neighbors, we already know. Romo Dunze, like we know. Ricky Pearsall from Florida. Jalen Polk from Washington. He's another one that's people that analysts like. Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son from USC, Tavion Robinson from Kentucky, Marcus Rosemay, Jack Saint from Georgia, Aeneas Smith from Texas A&M, Brian Thomas Jr., another guy that we know very well, Jamari Thrash, Devon Valley from Utah, Devontae Walker from North Carolina. I talked about him a little bit. Malik Washington from Virginia, Taj Washington from USC, Xavier Weaver from Colorado, Jordan Whitington from Texas, Isaiah Williams from Illinois, Johnny Wilson from Florida State, Roman Wilson from Michigan, and Xavier Worthy from Texas.
So that's all them names.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of wide receiver prospects in this year's NFL Combine. The amount of talent is insane. Out of all the players on that list, who are the names that stand out for you that you're really excited to watch in this year's combine?
Well, obviously you got the top dudes. I'm is Marvin Harrison is he doing drills?
No.
No drills. Is Malik Neighbors doing drills?
I don't know, but I highly no, he's not doing drills. No.
Jeez, man, what is going on? So yeah, I hope is Rome doing drills?
I don't know about Rome, but my guess is he'll probably do drills.
Hmm. Well, anywho, outside of the usual suspects, I'm really looking forward to see guys like Brian Thomas Jr. Because there's a lot of questions about him coming into this uh draft and how he's a big guy, but he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really like play super big,
Yeah.
and he's also there's some questions about his releases and how he
Yeah.
really only has like one release, and he's not really beating corners in like many different ways off the line. But AD Mitchell, that's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Keon Coleman, I'm trying to give Keon Coleman the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to throw that label, that lazy label of he's just Quentin Johnston, blah blah blah. No, I'm actually trying to see him as a full prospect and really break down his game because he's from what we've seen at Florida, he's Yak guy. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to give him the ball and then let him work in the open field. But you would expect him being as big as he is and to be more physical and like win those contested catch opportunities. Because if you think because like guys like Rome, his contested catch rate is insane. But you
Mm-hmm.
look like Keon Coleman, it's like, well, who's the bigger receiver here? So I'm looking forward to see how he does in the combine as well. Um, guys like you said, Lad McConkey, Georgia, Bulldogs, that's my team and everything. I really
Mm-hmm.
like McConkey. I wouldn't mind him on the Cowboys. He can run some routes. Xavier Legette, that's a guy that I haven't had my eye on. I'm from South Carolina, so
Yep.
I'm looking forward to see that. Um, that's pretty much it. I mean, all these other guys, it's just a lot of talent here, but I'm mostly just paying attention to guys that I could mock to my Cowboys, honestly.
That's how I'm looking at it. Here's the thing with this year's draft class of wide receivers. If you're a GM, it doesn't matter how many good wide receivers you have for your team.
Get another one.
Get another one. It doesn't matter. Like if you want to draft somebody in third, fourth, whatever, at least draft one of them because you never know. They might pan out to be really good for you because it's just the talent level is unbelievable. So for me, I'm looking at Xavier Legette. I'm looking at Odane Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr., and yeah, those are like really the guys I'm really looking at. Oh, and Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman for me because I want to see, okay, can he erase some of the doubts from some of these critics? Because he's been getting criticized a lot about just his ability to not run routes, not being the most polished wide receiver. The three cone drill is going to be very important for him. I can't wait to see that. And just some of the other drills that they're going to have him doing as well. Keon Coleman is going to be a fascinating player to watch. Donnie Mitchell, I've been very high on him as well. I can't wait to watch him. He's gonna well, it's gonna be interesting to see where he will get drafted this year because some people might have him like late in the first, maybe in the second round, but I don't know. The way people are talking about him, it just seems like he's a first round talent. But we'll have to see. Xavier Legette is
He
another one. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Keon, he was like a solidified first round talent when the season was going on, but then it seems like once people got the opportunity to like really dive into the film, it was like, this
Yeah,
guy's giving us a little too much of those big receiver can't separate vibes, and we staying away from guys like Quentin Johnston and all them.
yeah, and see that's when you see a trend years on end. where you have these big receivers who can't separate, that are just jump ball merchants, you're going to tend to critique, you're going to tend to not want to draft that player in the first round. And so Keon Coleman, he's a he's a product of just what has happened these past number of years with those archetype of receivers where yeah, you can catch jump balls, but can you get separation? And see, that's the thing with Keon Coleman that he's gonna have to figure out is can you use your size effectively
Mm,
and can you get open? And so we'll see today how things go. Obviously, the tape is where things really lie. That really tells you how a prospect really is, but the combine is just all the combine does really is confirm what you already know, or maybe change a little bit of what you thought of that player. So for instance, with Keon Coleman and the fact that you can argue that his quarterback, Jordan Travis, wasn't helping him at all. He wasn't the most accurate quarterback. He wasn't really good when it comes to throwing with anticipation. So a lot of times when he threw it to Coleman or when he didn't throw it to Coleman, by the time Jordan Travels was about to throw the ball or was thinking of throwing it to Keon Coleman, the cornerback was already right there because he wasn't anticipating. He wasn't
mm,
reading the field quick enough. And so that's where okay, with the combine, maybe we could see some things that could have us saying like, "Oh, okay, maybe it was the quarterback's fault, not the receiver itself. Maybe the receiver was under a bad situation. Maybe he wasn't schemed right. Maybe he wasn't utilized properly." And so that's what the combine could be used for to answer some of those questions. And that's what I'm really looking for. Uh, I'll say this because these receivers, there's going to be a receiver or two from this draft that we're going to look back 5, 10 years ago, and we're going to wonder how the hell did he slip to the second or third, fourth round? It's going to be that one receiver because that's how good this draft is. I'm telling you. I guarantee 5, 10 years from now, it's gonna be that one receiver, a Devontae Adams, a Tyreek Hill, a I'll even go all the way back to Terrell Owens, or you name it, where we look back 5, 10 years and we're asking ourselves, like, how did that receiver slip all the way to the late first, second round, third round? But they drafted these receivers instead. Like it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. Teams are going to miss out on a great talent because it's so loaded, and they think that this receiver fits better in our system. Oh, this receiver has more potential. Oh, this receiver. The thing is that when these franchises are selecting a receiver, it's all about not only what is their ceiling, but how do they fit in our system? And see, I've been watching a lot of just NFL Live. I've been just watching a lot of these NFL analysts, and they sort of break it down and how like some of these receivers fail because they come into a situation that doesn't specialize in what they do well. And so it's
mm.
gonna come. Some of that is gonna come down to that, and Puka Nakua is a great example of how he went into a situation that specializes in what he does best. And so
Exactly.
we'll see how things turn around for this coming NFL draft and from years to come. But I can't wait to see 1 o'clock when we get to see this talented group of receivers.